Hi there. So I had a commenter ask what the best CRT shader I've used is, and that made me decide I should maybe just talk about him for a minute. So I'm kind of new to the CRT shader game. I thought I didn't know that the technology around it had evolved, and I still kind of thought it was just laying down a simple scanline pattern, and I pretty much only used that to smooth 2D graphics in some PlayStation games. And after running into some YouTube videos and doing some research, I learned about how deep that rabbit hole goes. I mean, we're at a point now where they will lay so many shader effects down that it really is accurate to a very interesting degree. So, I'll turn down my volume here a little bit for the game. I'm just going to show off a few that I really have grown fond of over these past couple months of fiddling with a bunch of different downloads, default shaders, all kinds of things. So as it stands, I think this one is my favorite, and comes from a pack called the Zombs Mega Bezel Pack, ZOMBS. I'm gonna let it get into the game demo attract here, and I'm gonna pause. But essentially, this one, I would say it has a very realistic, I believe they call it halation glow, that an old kind of tube TV would have had, more like a more high-end one, like a JVC or a Panasonic. That scanline pattern is perfect to me. It really does smooth the pixels out really well. And even though I think it doesn't translate to YouTube well, there's a slight kind of interference fuzz that all of the different settings for it have, or shader presets, and I really like it. So these are all hidden here. I've mainly settled on Cypher Composite here. I will say these push my little old computer pretty hard though, so it's between them not recording well and how hard they push my computer, this is something I mainly use when I'm playing by myself, but this would be numero uno at the moment. Yeah, I mean, just it's a perfect smoothing out of the pixels, the glow. Definitely my favorite, probably. Um, oh. Now, if I'm going for one that is a little less intense on my computer, and I mean, I've been able to get this one to work well on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games that are a little tougher on my PC, but Coco AIO TV Aperture Grill Bloom Bezel is another. This would probably be the default one I would record with. You get the really great television screen effect. Same thing. The scanline pattern is very good without being obnoxious to me in my eyes. I really like that the glow of the image kind of transcends the little virtual TV screen and spreads to the edges. That helps the image be less boring. Kind of simulates how a real TV might have acted in your room back in the day, or does now. And obviously there are different kinds. So you get the monitor, slot mask, there's a bunch of them. But I've settled on the Aperture Grill one is the one that I like the most. Recently I found this one, which I believe is one of the updates for this Coca AIO pack. Monitor Ambilight Immersive. And while this one's a lot less visually accurate, I really like that it simulates a room and takes that idea of like the glow of the TV spreading to the room even further. And it's grown on me. However, because this isn't a super accurate scanline pattern in my brain, I went ahead and I usually have been adding a video filter. I got these from probably, yep, Cyberlab download. But essentially, like, it can simulate a composite video filter. So I'll pop that on top of this Ambilight. Blurs that image, and then it makes it a little more tolerable. Plus, you get that really cool room light effect. Plasma. Okay, let's turn that video filter off for now. I know that a lot of these mega bezel presets are accurate, but I feel like some of them are so dark they destroy the image. However, I've found one that essentially takes the CRT Royale shader from, I believe, Reshade, has cloned it, and this too, if you add a composite video filter on top, is very accurate to my eyes, and I really like it. I really think it kind of simulates tube effects and tube glow very well. This is another one, though, that I would probably add that filter to. So let me do that. Let's do the bad composite cable. The fact that all of this exists in Retroarch, it's easy to slide in new packs and fiddle around and try things, save a preset for your console. It's been a lot of fun. I've actually really enjoyed exploring it. So yeah, that Royale clone in the Mega Bezel pack with a video filter for composite. Well, I mean, just for comparison's sake, so let's... Obviously, it'll be full screen, so it won't look great, but... Yeah, I mean, look at how blurry those pixels are. I mean, granted, I have that composite thing on, but even you can see the... Then let's compare that again to turning it back on. Like, especially look at the cat up there. I know it's kind of blocked out by the darkness of the image, but... Yep. Well, you know, it's just a nice thing, too, because I'm nostalgic enough to keep some vinyl. But, I mean, the idea of, like, having different CRT televisions is not feasible in this era, you know? So having this as a middle ground to let you try a bunch of different TV effects and find some that work for you is really neat. Okay, did Mega Bezel, did Coco AIO. Cyberlab it's kind of the same thing. I feel like these are all too dark. I mean, we'll take a comparison here. If you're going for super accuracy, though, these might be the ones. And if you're less picky and you want the image to be more clear and less CRT filters, I would probably settle on this. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Sekiru TV backgrounds. This is a fine little middle ground if you're just getting into this and you aren't sure what you're dealing with. And same thing, I might try to add one of those composite filters, but it's just really neat how far this has all progressed. I mean, actually, let's just take a look at how many shader levels this one is. 30. So some of the crazier ones are pushing 30, 40, 50 passes to create this effect. So, guess that about does it. I mean, just going back here for a second. So my personal favorites would be the Zoms Mega Bezels, #1. Then Coco AIO, some of those varieties of that I showed. Then that CRT Royale. And then I've shown some stuff off with this Duamon shader too. These are interesting. Only the Game Boy ones feel somewhat accurate. Like if you go down to, they have like a general TV. I found one or two of these I liked, and I haven't memorized which number they are yet. It might be this one. my grandma had a TV exactly like this. So yeah, I mean, I guess that would sort of be my list, and try out different ones. Get those CyberLab video filters so you can simulate a composite cable if whichever shader you're using doesn't have that. Helping blur those pixels, I think, can really make it more convincing. And yeah, I mean, it's been a nice change because I, for a long time, essentially just did smooth pixels. I like a cleaner image. So I had settled on using fancier things like XBRZ and, really like cleaning this stuff up. But it's now grown on me that I feel like I genuinely like. Yeah, I mean, that's not a realistic image, Turn off that video filter. So it's kind of cool that you can now smooth out with CRT stuff. Yeah, that's misrepresenting what the game would have looked like. And I always knew that, but I'm more accepting of it now that I know how good these CRT shaders are. So I hope that wasn't too rambly, but just a little bit about this new hobby I've enjoyed, looking through all this crap, seeing which ones look good. Thank you for watching.